Tuesdays of the Other June, Part 3. That night I slept in my own bed with my own pillow and blanket, but with floors that creaked in strange voices and walls with cracks I didn't recognize. I didn't either feel happy or unhappy. It was as if I was waiting for something. Monday, when the principal of Blue Hill Street School left me in Mr. Morrissey's classroom, I knew what I'd been waiting for. In that room full of strange kids, there was one person I knew. She smiled her square smile, raised her hand, and said, "She can sit next to me, Mr. Morrissey." "Very nice of you, June M. Okay, June T, take your seat. I'll try not to get you two Junes mixed up." So now June has gone to school, and the other June is in her class. I sat down next to her and she pinched my arm. "Good riddance to bad trash," she mocked. So the other June remembers what that June said to her. I was back in the Tuesday swimming class, only now it was worse because every day would be awful day. The pinching had already started. Soon I knew on the playground and in the halls, kids would pass me and grin, "Hiya, fish eyes." The other June followed me around during recess that day, droning in my ear, "You're my slave. You must do everything I say. I'm your master. Say it. Yes, you are my master." I pressed my lips together, clapped my hands over my ears, but without hope. Wasn't it only a matter of time before I said those hateful words? "How was school?" my mother said that night. "Okay." She put a pile of towels in a bureau drawer. "Try not to be sad about missing your old friends, sweetie. There'll be new ones." The next morning, the other June was waiting for me when I left the house. "Did your mother get you that blouse from the garbage dump?" And she butted me, shoving me against a tree. "Don't you speak any more, fish eyes?" And grabbing my chin in her hands, she tried to pry open my mouth. "Ah, I thought you lost your tongue." When we went to school, I sank down into my seat, my head in my arms. "June T, are you all right?" Mr. Morrissey asked, and I nodded. My head was almost too heavy to lift. Then the other June went to the pencil sharpener. Round and round she whirled the handle, and walking back, looking at me, she held the 3 sharp pencils out like 3 little knives. Someone knocked on the door, and Mr. Morrissey went out into the hall. Paper planes burst into the air, flying from one desk to another, and someone turned on a radio. And the other June, coming closer, smiled and licked her lips like a cat sleepily preparing to gulp down a mouse. I remembered my dream of kicking her, punching her, biting her like a dog. And then my mother spoke in my ear, "Turn the other cheek, my Junie. Smile at the world, and surely the world will smile back." But I had turned the other cheek, and it was slapped. I had smiled, and the world hadn't smiled back. I couldn't run home as fast as my feet would take me. I had to stay in school. And in school, there was the other June. Every morning there would be the other June, and every afternoon, and every day, all day, there would be the other June. She frisked down the aisle, stabbing the pencils into the air toward me, and a boy stood up on his desk and bowed. "My fans," he said, "I greet you." My arms twisted and throbbed as if the other June's pencils had already poked through the skin. She came closer, smiling her Tuesday smile. "No," I whispered. "No." And the word took wings, and I flew to my feet in front of the other June. "No!" It flew out of my mouth and into her surprised face. The boy at the desk turned toward us. "You said something, my devoted fans?" "No," I said to the other June. "Oh, no, 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 no. No more." And I pushed away the hand that held the pencils. The other June's eyes opened, popped wide like the eyes of somebody in a cartoon. It made me laugh. The boy on the desk laughed, and then the other kids were laughing too. "No," I said again, just because it felt so good to say it. "No, no, no." And I leaned toward the other June and put my finger against her chest, and her cheeks turned red, and she squawked something. It sounded like, "You!" And she stepped back, and she stepped away from me. The door banged, the airplanes disappeared, and Mr. Morrissey walked to his desk. Okay, let's get back to work. Kevin Clark, how about it?" Kevin jumped off the desk and Mr. Morrissey picked up his chalk. All right, class. And he stopped and looked at me and the other June. You two Junes, what's going on there? And I tried it again, my finger against her chest, the words, no more. And she stepped back another step and I sat down. June M., Mr. Morrissey said, and she turned around staring at him with that big cartoon-eyed look. And after a moment she sat down at her desk with a huge slapping sound. Even Mr. Morrissey laughed. And sitting at my desk twirling at my braids, I knew this was the last Tuesday of the other June. So at the end of the story, June kind of walks toward her with some pencils at school, and the other June stands up for herself and says, stop it. And that June stops. So you want to be thinking, what's the big topic that the story's about? One word topic. What are they trying to say about maybe stopping that topic? And what could be some evidence to back that up? Have a great day.